Jiddu, I need to tell you a secret. I had an exam today and I cheated on the exam, and to be honest, I feel like it's eating me up inside as if it's haram.
Your father used to do the exact something and would always get in trouble. But you have done it now and cannot go back. I don't know if it is haram. Khair inshallah.
Thanks, Jiddu. Jiddu, I wanted to ask if it's halal to buy lottery tickets. They're so cheap and we could make a lot of money.
I don't know if it is halal or haram, but never think about something like that again.
Okay, I was just asking. Jiddu.
تعبتني. What do you want now?
I just wanted to ask if Sweet's beef gelatin is halal or haram.
You're supposed to check it before buying it, not after. I don't know if this is halal or haram.
Okay.
What now? I am trying to relax. Why do you keep asking me? تعال هنا الخاطر الله. Just go watch Ahkam SOS. Any question you have, they can answer you. You can call them, message them, anything. Ask as much as you like. They can answer any question from any marja, okay?
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome to Ahkam SOS on this very, very auspicious occasion of the birth of Sayyidah Zainab ibn Ali alayhi salam. MashaAllah, it is a beautiful, beautiful event. Many of us will be going to the mosque, to celebrate and then to hear the fadail of the Ahlul Bayt. And we at Imam Hussein TV would like to take this opportunity to first of all congratulate the Imam of our time and also the Muslim Ummah on this very, very fantastic waladat, inshallah. This is Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. And inshallah, we'll be taking your questions over the next hour or so. And, you can send your questions via WhatsApp. You can send it via Facebook Live. You can send it on YouTube. Any question you have in regards to any Islamic law, inshallah, myself and the Sheikh will be able to answer your questions. Send in your questions. If you want to call in 0203 515 0199, or alternatively, WhatsApp, or, put in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. And furthermore, we joined by our Sheikh, Sheikh Ali. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Congratulations, Mabruk, on the jashan, on the birth, on this auspicious occasion. Anything you'd like to say to the viewers?
وأسعد الله أيامكم.
أسعد الله أيامكم.
بارك الله فيكم.
ما شاء الله.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. It is indeed a great day, the 5th of Jamadi al-Ula, the birth of Aqilat Bani Hashim, Zainab al-Kubra, salamullahi alayha, the daughter of Fatima and Ali alayhim as-salam, this blessed woman in which she delivered the message of Karbala to the rest of the world and to the course of the history till today and till the Day of Judgment. A few words about the Sayyidah, narrated by one of the Shia followers of Ahlul Bayt in the time of the Lady Zainab alayhi salam, and with the name of Yahya al-Mazini. This individual used to live close to the house, and he was a neighbor of Lady Zainab alayhi salam when she moved to her husband's house, Abdullah bin Ja'far ibn Tayyar. And he narrates and he gives this report of his witness about this great lady. He says, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا رَأَيْتُ لَهَا شَخْصًا. He swears to Allah Azza wa Jalla, I haven't seen Zainab alayhi salam at all to come out in the daylight. I haven't seen her, how short or tall she is, for example, what she wears, for example, exactly. I haven't seen her at all. But he then mentions when she comes out, now through let's say somebody from the household or in any how. ولا سمعت لها صوتا, and I have never ever heard her voice. Usually mothers, I mean, she was the mother of Aun and Muhammad, who were martyred in Karbala. So they were at least, in their toddler or let's say infant age. So they was, let's say, run around, for example, play. So usually we'd hear the voice of the mother screaming, shouting, and so forth. He would never ever hear anything of this great lady, although she was a mother with kids. وكانت إذا أرادت الخروج لزيارة جدها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And if she wanted to leave the house, which means she never left the house, but if she wanted to leave the house to visit her grandfather Rasulullah's grave صلى الله عليه وآله, تخرج ليلا. She goes out in the darkness of the night. And on those days there was no
street
lamps.
lighting.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's no street lighting. It's
So
pitch black.
it's all darkness, and you could see nothing. والحسن عليه السلام عن يمينها. On top of that, she would come out with Imam Hussein عليه السلام, and he would be on her right side. والحسين عليه السلام عن شمالها. And Imam Hussein سلام الله عليه would be on her left side. والإمام أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام أمامها. So she would go out with Imam عليه السلام in front of her. So on top of the hijab that she had, the abaya, the chador, the face covering, fully covered head to toe, and in the darkness of the night with 3 men of her maharim, brothers and father, to come out in the darkness of the night to visit the grandfather Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم. فإذا قربت من القبر الشريف سبقها أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام فأخمد ضوء القناديل. So what happens that when they get closer to the mosque of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, those days they used to lit a candle for those who come to recite dua, prayer, visit the grave of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Imam عليه would go forward before she arrives to the grave, and he would turn off the candles so that she can visit the grave with complete darkness, away from the looks of the other men, non-mahram men. Although she is in full hijab,
Still,
full dignity, chastity.
there's a quote that women do hijab away from men, but the Ahlul Bayt, Fatima Zahra Salaam Alayha, and Sayyid Zainab Salaam Alayha, they would do hijab from the sun. That's how many layers they had. They would, as if the sun had eyes was watching them, they would wear hijab like that to protect themselves, from as if the sun was looking at them.
Indeed,
MashaAllah.
they wanted to be as the role model to the rest of the world, the women of the world,
Ahsan.
till the day of judgment. May Allah Azza wa Jalla gives us the tawfiq to visit her shrine in the city of Zainab alayhi salam. Inshallah.
Just a quick reminder to all our viewers that this is a live show. We're taking all your questions. If you have any questions, please send them in via the WhatsApp. QR code is right there in the corner. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, put it in the comment section. Inshallah, we'll discuss. I've got so many questions there, Sheikhna, all from YouTube. So let's begin. Teenagers don't grow pubic hair as fast as adults. So does the 40-day shaving rule also apply to them? Sheikhna, there is no 40-day shaving rule as I'm aware. When it comes to hair, between the legs, under the arms and so forth, it is mustahab, it is recommended to shave these off and not to let it grow past, I think it's a grain of a rice or something like that. However, this is not wajib, is it?
Well, of course, these are recommended acts to avoid smell, to avoid...
It's hygiene.
Exactly, hygiene. But in overall, when the boy reaches the age of adolescence, bulugh, and he would basically have one of the signs is that he has thick hair under his armpit, so that would be the sign of the bulugh, one of the signs, of course, other than ejaculation and so forth.
But in terms of shaving, it is recommended,
yes,
it is
course.
not wajib.
No, but it's better, of course.
Obviously,
you have
highly
to-
recommended
Exactly.
for hygiene purposes. Next question, YouTube. What is the story of Jurayj, the monk who was accused of zina, but the story of Zurayj, the monk who was accused of zina? I haven't heard of this story, Sheikhna. Do you know about this story?
I'm not sure of this name particularly, but there's something similar in the
Jurayj,
time of Bani
Jurayj.
Israel and the in the time of those individuals who lived like 3,000-4,000 years ago. There was a story about someone who committed, he was a monk, abid, prayer of salah and fasting and so forth. So they brought him a girl to be treated as to get the blessings. So he committed that awful act, and eventually the shaitan came to him and said, well, you're going to be exposed. So he killed the girl and he buried her inside his house. And then he was discovered, and ala kulli hal, he deviated from the right path. And he died as a non-believer.
From YouTube, Salam Sayyid and respected Sheikh. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. The wasila verse is very general. Is it not better to ask Allah bihaqqi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, because dua is worship?
What can we say when the Ahlul Bayt themselves say that we are the wasila? Imam Ali salamullah says, Ana al-wasila, tafsir of this ayah. Ana al-wasila, I am the wasila, the means to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Ali is a door towards Allah, abwabullah. They are the doors of Allah Azza wa Jal. So they have told us to come through them to go to Allah Azza wa Jal, because they are the purest, the best of the creation, the most blessed of the creation. So the sinful would go to the who? To the one who hasn't committed any sin and wrongdoings. To ask them to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive their sins and to ask for their hajat.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum Sheikhna. Prayer room at school has pictures of humans. Is it permissible to pray there?
I mean, what some ulama say that it's makruh to pray in a room that has a picture. You can cover the picture, for example, with a curtain or place it on the table upside down. I mean, otherwise it's not an issue.
Okay.
You can still pray.
Sheikh, if the picture is on the sides or the picture is directly in front where I'm facing towards the Qibla.
Inside the room.
Okay.
Where you pray,
So what if it's right in front of me? If I'm facing Qibla and it's right in front of me, the picture, is that
again,
makruh?
Again, it's makruh,
It's makruh as well.
There's no haram, no. It's makruh. It's just that you have to avoid.
It is better to maybe get a scarf and just put it on top, cover it, or take it off and put it back on. Respected Sheikh, if we believe in Walaya Takwini, does it mean the Ahlul Bayt created Prophet Adam by permission of Allah? This is a fantastic question. Sheikhna, the Quran says that we used our hands to form human beings, and especially Adam. Can we say the prophets or even the Ahlul Bayt formed Adam with bi'ithnillah, with the permission of Allah? Allah instructed them, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, take this clay and form my creation.
You see, we have narrations which talk about angels who Allah ordered them to create this universe. Angels. Allah uses means even to, he wouldn't interfere himself. On the Day of Judgment, who would deal with the people's, with the humanity's hisab? There are angels who would take some to the heaven. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ. Those angels who would lead and take people towards the hell, na'udhu billah, or the heavens and paradise. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He has as this ummal, those who would work for Allah Azza wa Jal. You have Jibreel, Mikael, each one of them, they have own duties to perform. Allah can do it Himself without creating any angel. But this is how it works. Allah wanted things to be in this world with causes and musabbabat and sabab. So, of course, Ala Muhammad salamullah, they are the illatul khilqa, they are the cause of the creation. Without them, there would be no creation because they are the best of the creation and the role model. So you have to have the best of the creation so you can have the rest of the creation to follow those individuals. Without them, it has no meaning for this creation to be existed.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum Sheikhna. My wife's mother mahram to me. Okay, is a man, his mother-in-law, his wife's mother, is she a mahram to him?
Yes, indeed, of course. When the aqd is recited, she becomes mahram,
From YouTube, my friend's ustad told him Friday khutbahs must only be in Arabic and other languages is haram. Is this true?
I haven't heard about this issue that it has to be only in Arabic. I think in Iran they used to recite in Farsi.
Yeah.
What I remember.
In Pakistan it's in Urdu.
It's in Urdu, for example.
Yeah.
What is important that there must be a khutbah recited. I think one before the salat and one
No, it's two
I think
two
two
khutbahs
khutbah
before
the
the
salah.
Jummah prayer.
Exactly.
One is to do with religion, one is to do with current affairs.
Yeah, and then they have
However,
two rak'ah
Sheikhna,
afterwards.
also before we begin the khutbah, there is Arabic recited. Is that considered khutbah as well?
These are part of the, exactly. So,
And must that be recited in Arabic?
it seems to be some of this should be recited. I'm not sure if it's wajib or mustahab.
Yeah.
But in overall, they would recite, even if they have the khutbah in Urdu or
Yeah.
English or Farsi, they would still recite.
There's a section at the beginning.
Of the
in Arabic,
salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad,
Yes.
mentioning Ahl Bayt, or reciting this short surah.
Yeah.
قل هو الله أحد إنا أعطيناك الكوثر, and then they end the khutbah. Yeah.
From YouTube, in terms of adhan, Sayyid Sistani has said they did not recite third shahada at the time of Ghadir in the adhan. Rather, this was not done by the imams even for intention of qurbat. Why do we do it? Okay, all due respect to Al-Udhma Sayyid Sistani, Hafadullah, he's a learned man, and this is the opinion that he has come to. Sheikhna, why do we do it? Why do we say Ashhadu anna aliyin waliyullah in the adhan? We have plenty of maraja, including His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi Hafadullah, who says that this is an integral part of the adhan, and it is part of the adhan. This is just an opinion. We're not saying one is right and one is wrong. We're saying this is the opinion that they have concluded to based on their knowledge and so forth. So Sheikhna, why do the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, I would say some Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, or majority, recite Ashhadu anna aliyin waliyullah in the adhan?
Well, number one, it has been mentioned by the sources and credible sources that it was recited, the Shahada Thalitha, just after the Ghadir appointment of Ali alayhi salam as a Khalifa after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa and some Sahabi complained.
Yes.
So
Sheikh, I have to make it clear. Was it recited as a Shahada?
Yes.
That if you will become a Muslim, you have to say Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna aliyin waliyullah, or was it recited in the adhan?
no, in the adhan. Someone recited the adhan on the day of Ghadir, and he mentioned
Bilal al-Habshi.
Ashhadu anna Ali waliyullah as well. So that is confirmed. One can go back to the sources. Maybe Kitab al-Ghadir Bash Allama Amini rahmatullah alayhi, you might have mentioned them somewhere. But anyhow, this is historically proved that that individual recited the Shahada, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam affirmed this act. Now the debate is about, is it part of the adhan, because it came afterwards,
Okay.
after the Ghadir. Some argue that it's mustahab, part of the adhan. Some would say, like Ayatollah Shirazi, that it's part of the adhan, juzu. You cannot neglect it or leave it. In anyhow, because now it became the shi'ar and the slogan of the tashayyu',
Yes.
by saying Ali Waliullah, then of course one shouldn't leave it.
We shouldn't abandon it.
You couldn't abandon it just because it's mustahab. Because otherwise you'll have a new generation, la samahallah, in the next 30 years,
It will not recite it.
would recite the adhan like Ahlul Sunnah. And is it nice from the Shi'i mosque?
Salat
Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, hayya ala salah. Is it nice? Is it? So if we allow it, things will go into this path, la samahallah.
I think it's important you mentioned, Sheikh, this has become our identity now. And it is, we should not let go of our identity. From YouTube, is wudu valid if the water on the face dries up whilst washing the arms, and the end of wudu, the face is completely dry? Is this an issue? This does not happen due to heat or wind and happens naturally.
It seems to be mentioned
drying
when you start washing your right arm and your face is dry, there's an issue about it, yeah.
Because it messes with the tartib. It means you've waited too long. If the water is drying on your face, you've taken too long to go from your face to your arms. I have to agree with that, Sheikhna. It's not possible for your face water to dry up within 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then you go to your arms.
Leave it 3 minutes maybe.
Yeah, it needs at least 3, 4, 5 minutes. And by that
also,
time, you've messed up your sequence.
Ahsan, the muwalat, as they say. So the sequence, you have to continue with the parts of the wudu.
From YouTube, I stand for the national anthem at my school. Am I sinful? Sheikhna, to stand for what they call songs of watani, national anthem. Me personally, I don't believe in national anthems or flags or anything like that. But if someone wants to stand for their country's national anthem, and show respect to it. Is that okay, or is that a sin?
I mean, some ulama like Ayatollah Sistani mentions that he divides the music into the entertaining, corrupted music,
Yes.
which is forbidden by all ulama, and the classical music, which are not entertaining, which he allows it. So it depends really if he follows Ayatollah Sistani and others who would allow it. That's a different story. But in anyhow, even if it comes to like the fatwa Ayatollah Shirazi, he would say that you're not allowed to listen to the music played, even if he considers that music is haram, all types of music. But when it comes to listening, it's forbidden. But hearing in the background, let's say you're talking to a friend, for example, you're in a restaurant, there's a music played, classical music is played, for example, in a supermarket, in a shop, in a mall, for example, and you're not paying attention to the music played, it should be fine. That's called sima', hearing in background. That is allowed.
Yeah, fair. From YouTube, what's the ruling on gender selection as part of IVF treatment? Sheikh, with IVF treatment, you can now decide whether you want to have a boy or a girl and so forth. Is this Islamically allowed, or should we allow it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for He's the greatest of planners?
In terms of like injection, they would inject the cells, for example.
Yeah, they can help determine, and so they can ask the parents, are you wanting a boy or a girl? And with IVF treatment, with that method, they can alter, or they can, influence it to go into another gender and so forth. So is this Islamically allowed?
I mean, I'm not sure, because would this go under
We'll
the verse of they change khalqullah azza wa jal, changing Allah's creation? You have to see, inshallah.
We'll have a look. From YouTube, can I pray with perfume creams and hair products that contain alcohol?
Alcohol, according to many of them ulama and maraja, that
in the cosmetic industry.
These are industrial based alcohol, non-intoxicating. They are pure and tahir and can be used.
You can drink as much as you want. You won't get drunk, so don't worry about it. I wouldn't recommend drinking it though. From YouTube, can a female do her eyebrows without intention to beautify herself but feel clean and put together? Sheikhna, some females, unfortunately, especially where I come from, their eyebrows may look very similar to a male's eyebrows, very thick and bushy and strong and so forth. If a female wants to just clean up her eyebrows, maybe remove the hair in the middle, maybe give it a little bit of shape, a little bit of clean, to make it look more feminine, is this allowed?
I mean, if it's known to be, as the Quran states, وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتَهُنَّ, and do not show your beauty, or shouldn't show their beauty. It depends. If it goes under this title and becomes like a zina, beauty, you have to cover it. Just bring down, let's say, the hijab further down, and to cover the eyebrows. If it's zina, of course, as I've said.
Fair. From YouTube, can a male pierce his ears? In Marat al-Uqul, it is narrated to be sunnah, just like circumcision. Sheikh, having the ears pierced, especially the males. Now, I have heard, I'm not going to mention his name just in case he doesn't want to be mentioned, very, very famous scholar who does also answer questions for the public and so forth. He mentioned that there is a hadith that says Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein had earrings, short earrings, and this was a sign of nobility coming from an honorable family, a noble family. Where I come from, many men have their ears pierced, and especially Sadat, the Sayyids, have it. Also, royalty, royal families, the men would have their ears pierced and even their nose and so forth, and have jewelry as a sign of status and also as a sign of honor and nobility and so forth. Therefore, in today's day and age, are men allowed to get their ears pierced?
You see, what would make it forbidden or haram, that they shouldn't look like females, tashabbuh bin nisa, to look like the females and women. That's the issue, that if it comes on this subject, where they look like women, for example, that's the issue they would discuss.
From YouTube, history question, Sheikhna. After Lady Zainab sallallahu alayha went back from Karbala and Yazid alayhi sent her to Medina, in Al-Qafi, Zayd, the brother of Imam Bakr, revolted. Okay, the brother Zayd. Revolted. But he claimed Imam Sajjad did not teach Imama. Is he misguided?
About Zayd?
Yeah.
Most of the ulama would say Zayd is a good individual, salih. He was killed. The Imam warned him. I mean, there are lots of issues mentioned.
Do you feel that it wasn't the case of that Zayd did wrong? It was a case that maybe this wasn't the time to revolt, and maybe Imam Sajjad was saying to him, look, it is better not to do it, but you are free to rebel against the government or those who have killed your family members and so forth. But I think it's better you not do anything. Is it more of that case, or is it a case of no, he went against the Imam?
It's a bit difficult because when you look at the both scenarios, some ulama would stop on praising him and somehow because of his revolt. And when he went for the battle with, I think, Bani Umayyah or Bani Marwan, he was killed instantly. In the beginning of the battle, an arrow came on his forehead, and he was fatally wounded. And when they pulled the arrow, of course, he passed away because it was very painful for him to take it. So, I mean, different narrations. It's a bit difficult to judge if he was good or bad, but majority would praise him. Of the ulama that I've seen, they would praise him and they call him Zayd al-Shahid. They call him.
From YouTube, do I need to tell my teacher when I don't do my homework, or can I stay silent? You have the right to remain silent.
I mean, it depends. You have to find out. It's your future, inshallah. If you study, organize yourself in terms of revising, studying, mentoring yourself, and sometimes you need to be, the hadith says, kun wasi nafsik, be your own mentor, be your own advisor. So you have to advise yourself in doing the right thing, avoiding the wrong thing, the wrong act and statements. So you have to basically look at your future. How do you build it? You want to build it in this way or in that way? Because if you built it wrongly, then of course when you grow up, it's going to be wrong in construction of your future. La samahullah.
Fair. From YouTube, do I do that one? Assalamu alaikum, brother and Sheikh. Alaikum salam. So it's nice when you said salam to us. First of all, congratulations on the birthday of Sayyid Zainab Salaam alayha, and also to you. My question is, what is the difference between Usul Shia and Akhbari Shia? Fantastic. Sheikhna, when it comes to Usul, or how we derive law, we have four main ways, or main sources we use. We use the Quran, we use the Hadith, we use Aql, and also the Ijma, the consensus of the previous scholars and so forth. When it comes to Akhbaris, do they use the same method or are they a little different?
No, they don't accept the Usuli way, the Usuli method, using the Aql and Ijma'. So mainly rely on the Ahadith and take them as they are. Because the Usulis would come and bring the Ilm al-Rijal and Ilm al-Hadith, Ilm al-Diraya, and try to scrutinize and find which hadith is weak, which one is strong, which one is good to take. So that's the difference between them, those two sides. But they're both Shia for Ahl Bayt alayhim, followers of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam. But that's the difference.
Inshallah, we're going to go to a short break. And while we're going on a break, why not pick up your phone and send a question that's been bugging you on WhatsApp. If you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching on YouTube, put your question in the comment section. Inshallah, after the break, we'll continue our discussion here on Ahkam SOS.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of scholars at home.
Is it permissible to plant trees by or
over
Islam
the
established
based on peace and
Is it
non-violence?
permissible to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim countries?
Is there an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of
Is it
scholars at
permissible to
home.
plant trees by or
Was
over
Islam
the
established based on peace
Is
and
it
non-violence?
permissible to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim
Is there an
countries?
issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Ahkam SOS. As you saw there, you can send in your questions via WhatsApp. QR code should be right there. If you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube, put your questions in the comment section. And inshallah, myself and the Sheikh will discuss and answer them. If you want to call in, 0203 515 0199. If you're outside the UK, just call the WhatsApp number and inshallah, they'll put you through to me. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sheikhna, from YouTube, is it haram to forgive someone who insulted the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We had a very controversial book in our time, which was called Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie, where people said that this book insults the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I don't think he did, but if Salman Rushdie later on came out and asked for forgiveness, what I wrote was wrong, I apologize, I was ignorant and so forth, I've learnt more, I repented and I asked for your forgiveness and I asked forgiveness from Allah for what I've done. Is that okay? Can we forgive him or no? He was someone that went against and insulted the Prophet of Allah and that we should continue to disassociate from him.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Well, regardless of this individual and his book and the controversy that happened in 1989, well, I remember that time, I was a child. Anyhow, the Holy Quran states that وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي أَحْسَنُ, and use the best method to do jidal and talk and debate with the Ahlul Kitab. So that's the first thing. We have to use the right tool. If the enemy uses the wrong tools and to slander, na'udhu billah, to accuse, to say whatever they want to say, we have to use the right way in order to deliver this message of Rasulullah.
Yes.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the time of the mushrikeen, Arabs, the Quraysh, his own tribe and clan, they called him magician, sahir, they called him kadhab, liar, na'udhu billah. But he lived with them and he tried to guide them towards the right path.
He was patient.
He was patient. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You have the highest morals, status. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. You've been sent as a rahmah, as a mercy to the worlds. Not this alam, alameen, to the worlds. Allah knows how many worlds He created. Jannah, nar, jinn, ins, malaika. Allah knows. Animals, plants. So we have to follow the steps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to try to deliver the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And as Imam Rida alayhi salam mentioned in his hadith to that individual who asked, what shall we do? He said, يَتَعَلَّمُ عُلُومَنَا وَيُعَلِّمُهَا النَّاسِ, to learn the teachings of Ahlul Bayt and to teach it to others and try to attract us towards the right path. This is our duty now to do, is to teach others Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam's legacy.
Sheikh, I've never said this to you, but I'm going to say it to you. We have so many questions come in. We may not have enough time to go through all of them. So I ask you, Sheikhna, if you can answer these very, very quickly, because there's at least 20 questions we need to go through. So inshallah. We don't want to run out. We don't want to go over to the next, roll over to the next one. Let's try and give the people their answers. From YouTube, I have a friend who dislikes and slanders the scholars of Iraq. Should I leave them? Sheikhna, those who disrespect our Maraja, maybe they don't agree with them, maybe they slander, whatever their stance is with the Maraja as in general, should we disassociate from them or should we, that's his opinion, doesn't matter?
I mean, today's message or advice from many ulama that try to be friend with them, attract them towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, Kitabullah Azza wa Jal, with your akhlaq, with your morals, with ethics. No, we need bring them to the ziyarat, bring them to the mosques, for example, to the centers. We've seen many individuals, even non-hijabis, they became hijabis. I've seen them myself, that she was non-hijabi, she became hijabi afterwards. So it takes time, it takes efforts, you need patience to, inshallah, guide them towards the right path.
Next question, can we share posts of women with or without the hijab if it is useful content? Sheikh, now we get loads of people giving out on social media news reports, things to benefit your life, health tips and so forth. Sometimes these ladies wear hijab, sometimes they don't. If they don't, can we share this information if it's useful?
The non-hijabi is an issue, is a problematic, yes.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I have a lot of Wahhabi friends who say that drawing pictures and celebrating birthdays is shirk. What is the position of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam on this issue? Bring your Wahhabi friends to the mosque on the 13th of Rajab. We'll show them how it's done properly. But Sheikhna, how do we address these issues?
Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam taught us that our Shia يفرحون لفرحنا. They would celebrate and be joyful in our joyful occasions, the
Yes.
birthday of Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. That's our duty. They have their own aqidah, their madhab, their fiqh. We don't care about them. We have our own instructions from Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam
Ahsant.
to celebrate their joyful occasions and to commemorate and to do azah in their sad occasions, as the Holy Prophet ﷺ cried on the day when Imam Hussein was born.
Yeah.
He established crying and azah on his grandson
Ahsant.
Al-Hussein salamullah alayhi before Karbala, 60
Yeah.
years before Karbala.
Wow. Sheikh, from YouTube, I had a little bit of super glue on my hand in my wudu and prayer valid. Okay, I'm assuming this person was praying and then they noticed they had a bit of super glue on their hand. Is their wudu, do they have to remove it and do wudu and pray again, or is the prayer sufficient?
If they can remove it, they have to remove it, of course. This is an obstacle.
Yeah.
You have to remove it and do wudu and pray.
Again.
It has to be no obstacle. It's like a paint. There's a paint causes
It's waterproof.
obstacle. It's a mass.
Yeah, it's not the
You
water
have
ain't
to
gonna get
remove
through,
it,
mate.
do wudu
Sorry.
again and pray again. But if the super glue sticks on your hand, sometimes you see some glues are so strong that they don't leave the
They
skin.
don't leave, yeah.
So in this case, your wudu will be jabira, which means it's like the wudu of the one who has
A plaster,
or
a
bandage.
Yeah.
I think they call it a splint or something.
Splint, yeah. When you
Wudu,
in your
exactly.
arm, yeah, and you
So
carry on,
you do
yeah.
wudu in this
I
case.
see. YouTube, is it allowed to attend a close friend's wedding that is a Christian? Sheikhna, can I attend a Christian's wedding?
What is important that there should be no haram associated with this attendance. So alcohol,
Okay, on
I
the
don't know,
table,
mixed
music,
dancing, gathering,
yeah.
and so forth. That's
Fair.
the issue.
From YouTube, father abandoned us when we were young. So sad. But I still contact him and give him his rights. Oh, must I still contact him and give him his rights? That is a fantastic question. Sheikhna, it happens to a lot of people, unfortunately, that the father walks out on the child and so forth. I'm a child. Maybe I've grown up a little bit more now. I'm in my 20s, in my 30s. Must I still give my father his rights, even though he abandoned me and walked away?
What the scholars say that قطع الرحم is haram. To cut and to sever the kinship, especially with the parents, is haram. It's forbidden.
Fair.
So صلة الرحم is what is could be wajib, it could be mustahab. It depends on the occasions and the people that you have to make this connection. Especially with the parents, even if they abandon and leave you, try to get involved with them.
Inshallah.
I mean, talk to them.
Can I give, from YouTube, can I give McDonald's burger to a non-Muslim homeless as charity because McDonald's is not halal? Sheikhna, let's assume, because it's always the case, there's no pork in the burger. If there was pork in the burger, you cannot give it to anybody.
Exactly.
Let's say it's beef or it's chicken. I can't eat it. I'm a Muslim. It's not halal. Someone gave it to me, or I got it from I don't know, whatever. Or there was a homeless man I saw, and they were giving it for free. I just took it from them and I gave it to the homeless man as charity. He's not Muslim neither. Can I do that?
Yes, one can do so, and the same applies to the fish, which has no scales, for example, like squid, to the non-Muslims or those who would not consider it as haram.
From YouTube, my parents approved my sister marrying a Hindu, and now she has influenced my other sister in haram. What do I do? Oh, wow. So this person is practicing. The sister married someone outside of Islam, and the parents approved of it and so forth. Now this lady is encouraging the other sisters that, look, I've done it, it's okay, my life is wonderful, he's so nice, I can still be a Muslim and practice and so forth, there's no problems. What should this person do in this situation?
I mean, the sisters are not allowed to marry non-Muslims, be it Ahl al-Kitab or non-Ahl al-Kitab.
Yeah.
It's forbidden. The ulama they've mentioned this with the evidence from the Holy Quran and narrations, so they cannot marry. There's a problem with the actual marriage.
Should we have to do wudu after ghusl? Let's say, Sheikhna, this is a mustahab ghusl, ghusl al-Jum'ah. Do I have to perform wudu after I do the ghusl?
According to some of the ulama, that the ghusl al-Jum'ah suffices, wudu, according to some. Some others would not accept it, and they would say only ghusl al-Janaba,
the wajib ghusl.
The wajib ghusl, as a result of ejaculation or intercourse,
touching a dead body.
That would make us, permissible for us to perform salah without wudu, straight from the bath to the prayer mat and pray without wudu.
From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I'm a female, and is it permissible to allow a male doctor to do ECG in case of emergency where there is no lady doctor available? I guess that's fine. If there's no lady doctor available and it's an emergency.
Yeah, what ulama would say that if there is, even if there's a female, but the male is more competent, more knowledgeable, his treatment is better than this female doctor who is not that expert, for example, in her fields. So if yes, number one, there's no females or there's no such individual who can treat this patient from the opposite gender, with conditions, of course, there are stages. If you can avoid touching, maybe wearing, let's say, or avoid looking through the mirror, there are conditions with this regard. If he can avoid, direct contact with the patient, maybe through the screen or the TV, for example, to treat her, then that should be fine.
From YouTube, if I do mut'ah with a Christian girl, as I heard non-Muslims are najis, if they touch my food, is my food najis?
According to many ulama, and I think Sasani is one of them, that Ahl Kitab are tahir and pure. Many would say today that they are pure and tahir, except few.
His Eminence Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi, Hafidhullah, what does he say?
I think he would consider them as impure.
Najis.
I think as a precaution, maybe. Wajib precaution.
So then, if this person was a muqallid of Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi, the food would be najis?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Salam Haji and Sheikhna. Alaykum salam. Is it permissible to take steroids, TRT, if prescribed by the doctor due to low testosterone? TRT, Sheikhna, is testament replacement therapy, and it is sometimes prescribed by doctors for those who have very, very low testosterone. Is it okay to take testosterone injection supplements? Is it okay to take steroids to help you with your muscle growth and so forth?
If there's no, let's say, harm, severe harm to your body, why not? There's no issue with it. Vitamins, other types of supplements should be fine.
Me and the Sheikh are going to hit the gym. Yes, get the gains. Sheikhna, assalamu alaikum. Ghusl, if I ever part of the body has to be washed, but the back is very hard to wash, there is no guarantee water has touched every part. Is there a solution? When doing ghusl, Sheikhna, sometimes, washing the back can be very, very difficult. What can we do? I find it very easier to do ghusl with a shower. And that way I can turn and move my back and I can cover the whole back and so forth. What do you recommend?
I mean, one should ignore the waswasa and the obsessiveness. Sometimes the shaitan plays a big part in terms of making one assuming that it hasn't reached. So just do normal ghusl as you do usually and then just carry on and move on with your work and ibadah.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. In regards to the question about the face drying wudu and doing the wudu, as for the face drying up in wudu, must I go back and make wudu and pray again? I'm afraid you're going to have to.
Yes, because you have to make sure that the stage before the wudu should be, your face should be wet before you start your arm. If your face is dry, then there's no point. So you have to start your wudu again. Yes.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Did Maryam alayhi salam try to commit suicide?
I haven't heard such a thing. It could be one of those, as they say, Israeli narrations.
There's one in regards to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
When he received wahi, he was scared and he was going to commit suicide as well. I've heard, not in our books.
Yeah.
But
yes, sadly we have lots of these so-called Israeli narrations. In the time of Bani Israel, because the problem is when the Muslims ignored Ahlul Bayt and then isolated them, Ahlul Bayt, they brought other people who have no or few knowledge. They had no choice except to bring some of the rabbis in the mosque of Rasulullah, like Ka'b al-Ahbar, to teach and mix some of the Old Testament with the Hadith. And this is the result, that we have such a hadith.
From YouTube, what is the ruling on giving out khums for money obtained from child benefit and disability benefits for a baligh child who cannot make his or her decisions? Sheikhna, let's say I have my brother is autistic, but let's say I have a brother who's autistic and he's getting disability allowance, and if he's getting more than he requires or so forth, and he has to pay khums on that, who is responsible for paying the khums? Does he have to do it himself? Is it his carer? Is khums wajib on someone like that?
You see, the wali, the parents are wali of the child. So whatever the child gets as gifts, as money, income, and it becomes as surplus and excess at the end of the year, of course, khums will be applied on this money. So they have to take out the khums from this unused, unspent money because it's now surplus. Yes, it applies the same thing.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh and Akhi. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I'm feeling numb emotionally these days. Please give me advice. My advice to you is to go see a professional, go see counseling, go see your doctor. Why are you feeling like this? Spirituality has a part to play, but more is your lifestyle. It's the way you handle stress. It's the diet that you have. You need to see a professional, and inshallah, that will help you analyze and assess what the problem is, the root of the problem, and inshallah, with the dua of the dua of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also with the shafa of the Ahlul Bayt, you will get we will get better very, very soon. Sheikh, would you like to add anything to that?
Indeed, as you've mentioned now, that number one, to see experts, medical experts. Number two, I think to join the jama'ah on the day of let's say, Friday morning for dua nudba, Thursday night dua kumail, go to your local center,
get involved in your community,
attend the majalis of Ahlul Bayt. I think things will change, inshallah.
Again, with the question in regards to steroids and TRT, also, what is the ruling if someone takes steroids for training and lifestyle purposes to better oneself? Sheikh, any issues with taking what we call enhancements, supplements and so forth for building muscles and things like that?
As I've said before, again, if there's no harm, it doesn't contain those, I don't know, A class, whatever, B class drugs, for example, alcohol, animal fats, and so forth. It's like vitamins that we take, vitamin A, B, and C, and E, and whatever. That's allowed, it's fine. Or protein for those who want to build bodybuilding, for example.
The law is a bit 50-50 with steroids and things like that. But it's not because it's going to damage the body or it's going to make you hallucinate or something like that. It's not one of those drugs, but, I'm not sure. Yes, Sheikh.
Yes, there's a su'al, I think 2 weeks ago, somebody asked about that they've discovered najasa and impurity on their body.
Okay.
But they've already prayed.
Yes.
They didn't know that it was najasa. Of course, they have to repeat the salah.
If there's time available.
Anyhow, they have to repeat the salah.
Okay.
Ada'an aw qada'an, they have to repeat because you cannot pray with a najis, let's say, urine and so forth.
It's batil.
Yeah, if it's a small drop of blood, on blood, for
less than
example,
a thumbprint,
that should be fine. But if it's
a
big amount, it's urine and so forth, they have to repeat the salah.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. I've been feeling tired and I can't sleep. Is there religious advice for this? If you are feeling tired and you cannot sleep, 9 times out of 10, it's your lifestyle. Again, your diet, you need to see an expert. Insomnia happens. Also, Sheikhna, I've heard that when the body cannot sleep, when the soul cannot rest, it is because it wants to do ibadah. Maybe one should get up, pray, recite dua and so forth. It's like a special night. The gravitational pull of the moon or something is somewhere else than that. The spirit or the soul wants to worship, doesn't want to sleep. Is this true?
It could be, I'm not sure, but in anyhow, one should seek, number one, medical advice, experts. Number two, maybe they have to reorganize
their sleeping pattern.
The schedule, exactly.
Wake up early, go to bed early.
And number three, go back to the ad'iyah of Ahlul Bayt and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about just before sleeping. There is dua, which you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make you sleep early. And subhanAllah, it works, for those who have difficulty with sleeping at night.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. Zakah was given in the past on the ancient currency. Obviously, the currency today is paper money, but is that the same thing? So is the in paper currency liable for zakah? Why do we not also give zakah? Okay, first of all, when it comes to zakah, zakah is on crops and livestock. It's not really on wealth and money and so forth. Sheikhna, would you like to add to that? Why do we not also give zakah on money?
Well, there's 2 categories in terms of zakah, because we have zakah and khums.
Yes.
The Quran says, mentions the khumus, ma ghanimtum. What you gain as a profit.
You give 1/5.
You give 1/5. So if you have money, let's say £1 million or dollars, you pay $200,000 or pounds as a khumus. That's to do with the crops and cattle.
Yeah.
Nine
zakah.
Things,
Zakah has to do with crops and cattle, not with money.
When it reaches threshold.
fine.
Yeah.
From YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. What books to read to increase Islamic knowledge? Brother, or sister, there are many different books in regards to different topics in Islam. You might want to read a book on history. You might want to read a book on the Quranic tafsir. You might want to read a book on aqaid. You might want to read a book on mantiq. You might want to read a book on Islamic sciences, theology, history. There's so many different avenues and different topics in Islam. In the Hawza, Sheikhna, you'd know so many different approaches that you have. The best thing I advise you to do is to find out what topic you like, and inshallah go to your local center, speak to the Sheikh there, and they'll be able to help you in regards to finding in a suitable book for that matter. Sheikhna, final question for this evening, and that is Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh from YouTube. Can we repeat surah if we recited surah wrongly in salah?
Yeah, you can repeat it, but not to the stage of excessiveness or waswasa. Some people have waswasa. Iyaka. He repeats iyaka 10 times. So, no, to repeat it once or twice, let's say, to be sure on the safe side that you've pronounced it correctly, that's fine. But not to the stage of waswasa and obsessiveness. You have to make sure that you don't reach that stage.
Okay, fair enough, Sheikhna. We have one more question. Do you have time for one more?
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna, from WhatsApp. How can one respond to the argument from our brothers, if you call them brothers, that Imam Ali alayhi salam is not infallible based on his refusal to erase what the Prophet, peace be upon him, had told him to in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah?
You see, you cannot connect these issues and bring an argument from an act in the treaty. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam were purified in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayat al-Tathir, وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا, to thoroughly purify you, O Ahlul Bayt. And Sahih Muslim mentions, I've read a long time ago, that there are Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan and Hussein. They are the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, nobody else. Even Salama tried to enter into that kisa, Ahlul Bayt. The Prophet said, "Innaki ala khair, you're on the safe side." Yeah. This is only for Ahlul Bayt. They are purified, thorough purification. Nobody can, gain this title except Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu alayhi.
One more question, Sheikh. Now, this is, I promise you, and it's very serious. It's a yes or no answer. My mother wants to know if it's permissible for her to say salam to her granddaughter's husbands in the traditional Arab way, which is to shake hands and kiss cheeks. So the granddaughter's husbands, are she allowed to shake their hands and kiss cheeks like how Arabs traditionally do it?
Is she mahram on him? Is that the question?
Yeah, it could be. It's asking actually, can she shake hands and
I have to think about it, inshallah.
Fair enough, inshallah, we'll answer that next week. And we apologize if you sent in a question and we didn't answer it, as we had so many people sending in questions. But thank you for joining us on this episode of Ahkam SOS. Inshallah, it benefited you, and inshallah, you continue the celebrations of the wiladat of Sayyidah Zainab Salamu Alayha. Inshallah, myself and the Sheikh will be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. here on Imam Hussein TV 3. Join us then. If you have any questions, please send them in via the WhatsApp. We're more than eager to answer. And inshallah, we'll see you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.